These are what is known as textile mountains. This is where everyone in the world's unwanted clothing eventually ends up, in deserts in Chile and in African countries. To understand why we have these clothing mountains forming in various places of the world, we have to start, all the way at the very beginning, with fast fashion. What is fast fashion? No, it's not runway fashion and high fashion models. Fast fashion, according to Google, is inexpensive clothing produced rapidly by mass market retailers in response to the latest fashion trends. So, why is fast fashion bad? People who participate in fast fashion trends are very quick to throw away clothes that they consider to be out of style. And all those clothes end up in landfills. This is why you should care about fast fashion. Now, you may have some questions regarding fast fashion, like, fast fashion clothing is cheap, how are you supposed to get around that? Thrift store clothing is often pretty cheap. Some thrift stores, like Plato's Closet, actually give you money back for the clothing that you donate. Yes, fast fashion clothing is cheap, but it's also horrible quality and does not last. Clothing at thrift stores are not only cheap, but are also way better in quality. How else are you supposed to stay in style and follow trends? Instead of buying clothes just because everyone else is wearing them, or just because they're all over social media, maybe you should try looking for clothes that you like. Try and find your own personal style. Only you know what you like and what looks good on you. Why thrift stores rock? Well, first of all, secondhand clothing is cheap. Second, past fashion trends come in and out of style all the time. For example, the early 2000s did the 70s, the 2010s did the 80s, and now, in the 2020s, we're starting to see early 2000s fashion trends coming back into style. So, if you're into vintage clothing, or vintage clothing styles are coming back in style and you're someone who likes to follow fashion trends, thrift stores have actual vintage clothing that was made in those specific eras. Why Once Upon a Child particularly rocks? Once Upon a Child is a thrift store for babies and toddlers. Babies and toddlers grow out of their clothes super quickly. They're only that size for so long. And baby and toddler clothes are not cheap. So, here's where Once Upon a Child comes in. When your baby or toddler grows out of their clothes, you can donate their clothing to Once Upon a Child instead of throwing them away. So now, other babies or toddlers can wear those clothes. Shopping at Once Upon a Child for your kids' clothes is not only more environmentally friendly, but it is also cheaper than buying clothes from other stores. Ways to stay sustainable. Donate your old clothes. You can donate your clothes to thrift stores, and like I previously mentioned, in some cases you can actually get money back for those clothes. Homeless shelters also need clothes. Don't forget about them. Recycle your old clothes. Start thinking of ways you can use your clothing other than just wearing them as clothes. For example, my dad uses his old shirts as rags in the garage. In conclusion, there are enough clothes on this planet to dress the next 6 generations. And I'm not just making those numbers up. If you don't believe me, Google it. So after watching this video, hopefully I've convinced you that despite what everyone might say about how you should only buy new clothes and how it's cooler to buy clothes from big fashion companies, that it's just as cool, if not cooler, to buy your clothes from secondhand clothing stores.